first English episode of the Mindful Salon. My guest for today is Ruth Rogers. Ruth is the owner and creative director of London's first Happy Café, the Canvas, where we are recording this conversation now. And we're sitting here with her little boy, Jim. And Ruth is also the founder of Body Gossip, a charity that combines arts and education to empower everybody. Hello, Ruth.
Hello.
Thank you for accepting my invitation.
Oh, well, it's such an honour to be invited to speak about something that you love, so thank you.
Yeah, that you love too.
Yeah.
So, Ruth, you were an actress and a puppeteer before you founded the Canvas in 2014. How did this happen?
Well, yes. So I say I was an actress and a puppeteer, but actually I was a side hustler as well. So a side hustle is it's a fairly modern term now, in that it's like a thing that you do on the side that's your real passion. So I was an actor and a puppeteer, but I was also founding Body Gossip, which I founded in 2006, and plotting ideas around the canvas. The idea for the canvas came because of Body Gossip. Mm-hmm. Now, Body Gossip, just very briefly, is it's a charity where we invite people to write their story about their body, and we invite them to share them with us through our website, and we turn some of those stories into live theatre shows and also short films, and we empower the stories. Now, I had this idea in 2006, and I've always said if I was the daughter of someone famous, that Body Gossip would be huge. It would have been front page of all the tabloids. But I'm nobody, and social media wasn't really a thing, and actually body image wasn't a big subject as much as it is now in 2006. So what could I do? How could I get people to share their story? Well, I had a car, and I had a roof rack on my car, and I put my white living room sofa on the top of my car, and I drove it to Edinburgh, which is about 10-hour drive or something, and I put it in the middle of the Royal Mile in the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Now, hundreds and hundreds of people walk through that street every day, and I invited passers-by to write one sentence about their body on the sofa. What was initially a PR gimmick turned out to be really incredible, because people were being more honest with that sofa than they have ever been with their family and their friends. People were saying things to the sofa that they hadn't admitted to themselves before, and I realised that there's a real something very powerful happens when you invite people to write on an unusual canvas. And I had the idea for a venue where every wall has a question, and people are invited to share their answers and their thoughts and their stories and their secrets on the walls themselves. And that was the start of the canvas. So when you come to the canvas, you'll see that there are questions everywhere. The questions are based around health, well-being, community, memories, and there's just a lot of humanity on the walls. And what I hope is that when you walk in, you realise that this place is yours. And that feeling of belonging and ownership can go a long way, and it helps with isolation and loneliness, and it helps just to remind us all that humans are amazing.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I saw the walls, it's really inspiring.
Yeah.
And that's also why it's called the Happy Café, or how did you get this name?
So, as well as the walls, we have 2 event spaces. So we're sitting in our community hub at the moment, which is a space that we offer free of charge to anyone that wants to launch an idea that will improve the lives of others. We also have a creative space, which is downstairs, and in that we host workshops and talks, panel debates around some of the really important issues that are facing humanity at the moment. And we also nurture fresh artistic talent, new works. We were doing that when we opened in 2014, and in 2015 I heard that Action for Happiness, which is a global charity with the Dalai Lama as their patron, they were looking for venues to become happy cafes. I contacted them and I said, I think we already are one. And they said, yes you are. So I said, can we officially become a happy cafe? And we became London's first happy cafe in 2015.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Sorry about the noise, by the way, listeners. It's Jim. He's 7 months old, and that is a car that you can hear. Shush, Jim.
He wants to be part of the interview.
He does.
So, do you have an advice for people who want to found a not-for-profit social enterprise?
Gosh, yes. First of all, do it. Second of all, be prepared for an incredibly tough time. My advice would be work out very quickly what your revenue stream is going to be, because I've seen plenty of fantastic social enterprise ideas really struggle because they don't have any way of making money. And that's the difference between a social enterprise and a charity. Charities fundraise, but social businesses should generate enough money to keep themselves going so that the doors are open for the next day. So anyone wanting to do it, don't be scared of profit margins and talking about making money. We have a cafe here at the Canvas. It's 100% vegan, and we make everything here on site. And that cafe is the revenue for this entire social business, but it's also helping others. So we have a pay it forward board where customers can prepay for someone in need to have a coffee or a meal. We are working with Crisis to feed the homeless members at their Crisis Skylight Centre. So your way of making money doesn't have to be completely separate from your main mission. We have woven our mission into our revenue maker, which is hugely important, I think, if you're creating something that's social.
Yes, it has to be sustainable.
Yeah.
Also economically.
Another thing I would advise people to do is make sure that they've got lots of mentors, and look at your strengths and your skills, and be very honest about the things that you can't do and that you're not good at, and try and find people in your team that can. I am rubbish at certain things, and when I'm doing them, I'm doubly annoyed because number one, I'm doing something I don't enjoy. Number two, I'm doing it badly, and therefore I'm not doing my business any good. So it's always better to get people of contrasting skills in your team.
And did you start with a team, or did you start alone and then attract other people?
So you can't run something like this completely on your own, because it's open 7 days a week, and I opened with a team of 6 people, and I started working behind the cafe along with everyone else, and then slowly over the years I have moved from working in the cafe, and then I moved to the office where I was manager. Now I have managers as well, so that I can step sort of further back to the place where the owner probably should be, which is where they can see things from a distance. So I am now kind of in the classic owner's seat, where I meet with my managers, I check in with the team, but I'm also able to look at the bigger picture, which is actually where I love to be, because I'm an entrepreneur at heart.
So, and you came from a creative background. Do you think you have to be creative to be an entrepreneur?
Well, I don't think creative necessarily has to be in the list. I think you've got to be resilient. Jim. I think you've got to be... Thank you. There you go. I think you've got to be resilient. I think you've got to be able to innovate and see when something's not working and try a different angle. I guess that's creativity, but I don't think necessarily that's sort of high up in the list of attributes you need. I think you've got to be incredibly driven, and there have been times when I have really nearly given up, but I am so passionate about what it is that I'm trying to do that it's not very many days that go by when I'm giving up. Very quickly I start finding my get up and go again.
So you're in a passion and drive.
Yes, so I think drive and resilience are the two things that I would say are most needed.
You've already created this great place where I can taste this, what a good life would mean for you, but can you maybe quickly sum up what is a good life for you?
Well, what's a good life for me? It changes all the time. I very recently, a year ago, moved out of London with my family. I live now 2 hours away from the canvas, which initially felt really wrong. I used to live 15 minutes away, and suddenly I was so far away, and I felt a lot of anxiety around that. So first of all, I'll talk about when I was living in London, my ideal life. I would spend the morning doing admin at home, giving myself a little bit of distance from the venue. Then I would cycle or walk in, which for me took me through Broadway Market, London Fields, down Brick Lane. Fantastic. Excuse me, everyone, I'm just picking him up. Hello, baby boy. So I'd spend the afternoon here, so I would be much more on site, very much involved. That felt right at the time, and now I'm not there every day, and I also have a son, and my son was born whilst I was down in Sussex. Funnily enough, my absence has caused a wonderful thing to occur, which is that people have taken ownership themselves of this place. So now I don't run the canvas is run by the canvas team, who are here every day, and they are hugely talented and passionate and driven, and they care and love the canvas so much. So now a good day would be feeling like I can support those people in my team, working from home when I'm needed to, but actually having some time away from the canvas. For the last 4 years, I feel like this has been my complete life. The canvas has been my life. So actually, I think it's probably quite good for me and for the canvas that I'm slightly distanced. So I guess those are London life and then my new life.
Okay. So what do you think each one of us can do to contribute to a good life?
I think we need to be really honest with ourselves about the life we want. I was reading just this morning about this culture of busyness. There's a book that's just come out about kind of not work. It's called Not Working, I think. And I think it's important for us to be really honest. What do we really want to do with our lives? Do we need to be working every single minute of every single day? Or can we delegate? Can we step back and allow other people to take something further than you probably ever would? I was told recently that I've been in a perpetual spring and summer for 4 years whilst opening the canvas. I've just been in spring and summer, and this was one of my mentors. He recommended that I went into a period of autumn and winter, and the wonderful thing about that is that by going into autumn and winter, and by that I mean being that little bit distanced, supporting and nurturing my team, but not being in every single day, not pushing, striving. From that period of autumn and winter, I am sure that new creative energy will come out, and that I will be ready for the next step for the canvas, which, by the way, is to open more. But I don't think I couldn't do that without a period of downtime and regeneration. Rejuvenation, sorry. So I would say that's important for anyone. If you're looking for the best life doesn't have to be constantly strive. You need to allow yourself to relax and recuperate as well.
To find a kind of balance in your life.
Yeah, and also accept that we're not good at everything, and what is it that we are good at, and focus on that. And yeah, we don't have to be busy all the time. Mm-hmm. I'm learning because my husband would laugh and go, "You're always busy," but I'm trying, desperately trying to.
Constantly learning this, I guess.
Yes,
as humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So you talked a little bit about the plan. So you want to open more?
I would love to. I think so. Here we are in the canvas at 42 Hanbury Street in London. I think London could have another one. But I think other cities could also have them. And if you look at the logo to the canvas, you'll see it's the canvas : cafe and creative venue. Now, I did that on purpose. The canvas : could be anything. The canvas bar, the canvas theatre, the canvas venue. You can do an awful lot and use the city that you're opening in and its needs to go, right, well, what does the canvas Manchester need? What does the canvas Bristol need? The canvas Brighton? That's what I'd love to do. But I'm also going to, I definitely need some autumn and winter before I launch into that. I think we're talking about 5 years' time.
We're in the middle of winter now.
Well, this is true.
It's very cold here in London.
Yeah, it is.
So, yes, you've mentioned this before, but the UK and also other countries report high levels of loneliness, I've read. And do you think these spaces for community can tackle this problem, or do you have ideas?
I really do that they can be, and I've just got this innate belief in humans that we're all lovely, and I don't think you need to scratch far below the surface to find out, to get that to that loveliness. No, I'm sure, the comments will be, well, what about Hitler? Fine, fair enough. But let me just tell you a story. So I was cycling through a park in London, Burgess Park, and this little bit of Burgess Park that I was going through, you sort of can't really get through if anyone else is in your way. And it was about 6 p.m. and it was getting dark. And all of a sudden these 5 lads, all wearing balaclavas, jumped out in front of me, and I thought, oh dear, this is a problem, because I couldn't get through them. And I knew that they were intending to get up to no good. And without even thinking, I jumped off my bike. And then I thought, what are you doing? You're getting off your bike. Your bike was what made you quicker than them. But I got off my bike and I could see their eyes. Their eyes were kind of peeping through these balaclavas. And all without thinking, I looked at them all in their eyes and I said, are you okay? Are we all right? Is it okay? Are we going to be all right? Are you okay? And they did not know what to do. They parted. They were so shocked, I think, that I had talked to them like a human. And it was only when I'd realised I'd walked through them. They had just moved away from me and I'd walked my bicycle through them and I was at the other end. And I thought, I can go now. And it was only then that they started to say, we're going to get your bag, we're going to cut you, we're going to get your bag. But I was gone. But I thought, those 5 lads who, for whatever reason, life has led them to that, just talking to them disarmed them completely. And I thought, I don't know what's led you to this, but you're not bad people. You're scared. And I just need to talk to you. And all of this that I'm saying, this came with hindsight, because at the time it was my instinct to just talk to them. Now, that's just an example. I've got loads of other examples. You'll all have examples of when you've gone, I disarmed someone, whether it be a big scary dog or someone in a hoodie, or, the people that you expect to be scared of. And actually, we're all humans and we are all lovely just below the surface. This space, the canvas, if I could draw it, it would be open arms. We say yes to things that no other space would. I know this because there's a project that trains and employs homeless people to be chefs and waiters. It's called Fat Macy's, and they are fantastic. They're a social enterprise. They're now based in Peckham, and they had their first ever load of supper clubs with us, and they said no one else would say yes. No one else would say yes. We said yes because we went, well, yeah, we trust people. We don't go, oh no, sorry, that sounds a bit risky. No, we went, no, that sounds like a wonderful idea.
Go for it.
Yeah. And so, and if you trust people, they generally don't let you down. Generally. So I would say what the canvas does, we are open arms, we say yes. And all I did was open this place and go, it's here if you want to use it. As long as it's improving other people's lives, as long as it's positive activism, come and use it. And you can't book most of the spaces at the moment because we're full of people wanting to run beautiful ideas, most of them money-free. How wonderful is that? So yes, I do think that
and it's so
open these
encouraging to hear that there's so many people trying to make lives better.
People are amazing. You just need to give them the space to be so.
That's awesome.
I know. But you're one of them. But you're one of them too.
Yes.
So it's wonderful.
Thank you. So, Ruth, imagine you would travel to 2030 in the future. What kind of future would you like to see then? Do you have an idea?
Yes, I'd like. I would love to see fewer hate stories whipped up by the media and more positive news being reported. There's a great thing called the Happy newspaper. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it, yes.
Oh,
and also not the positive news. It's also UK based.
Yes, and positive news, yeah. So both of those organisations, run by fantastic women, I believe, both run them. And we should have more positive news, because when we're hearing about all the bad things that go on, you get mistrust and fear and division, and Brexit is a huge part of all that. So, that, not going to go into it, but obviously I voted Remain. And it's just so sad because it's going against everything I believe, which is that humans are amazing and trustworthy and wonderful. And then the news just reports the absolute opposite. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see us seeing more news stories of positive activism.
Many more candles.
Well, that would be great. That would be great, yeah.
Great for everyone.
It would, I think.
Yes.
I'd love that. I would love that.
Sounds awesome. Yeah, I think this solutionist and positive and constructive journalism is a thing for the future. I see more and more popping up.
Well, especially as we're all glued to our iPhones and we do take in news. Whether it's on the BBC website, whether it's through Twitter, through The Economist, but it's a lot of it's just bad news that's reporting fear and mistrust.
Do you have a personal advice to how to read this news and don't get discouraged?
That's a really interesting question. I try to look for the positive in everything, and I think it's if we understand that currently bad news sells papers, so there will always be a bias towards the bad. Just remembering that when you're reading things and just trying to keep a positive outlook on humans. And it sounds like a really silly thing, but try it. Just smile at people when they walk past you. Even the surliest of people, there's a smile just below the surface waiting. That's a good thing to kind of combat all the bad stuff we hear. Just next time you're walking down the street, just give everyone a grin, and I bet you get grins back from everyone.
It would be great in Vienna too.
Yeah, do it.
Thank you, Ruth. You've been very generous, and also Jean has been patient. Do you want to add something to our conversation?
I think you are an example of the sort of people that the Canvas loves to meet, because you're doing something. You're taking positive activism and you're pushing it out to the world. So I want to say thank you for creating this podcast. And to everyone listening, I think support Caroline and her podcast and what she's doing, because it's people like her who are spreading love and compassion through the world, which is what we need.
Oh, wow, that's so kind of you, and I thank you very much for creating this space and these opportunities for so many people. And thank you, Jim, for being on the podcast. It has been very inspiring and encouraging.
Thank you. Thanks so much.